Mike asks, what does my future look like?
Well, Mike, I reckon your future's a bit like a box of 8 chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, but I'll tell you this much. It's going to be a wild ride, full of twists and turns, ups and downs. You'll face challenges, that's a given, but you're a strong fella, I can tell. You'll make some new friends, lose a few, and maybe even stumble upon a little romance. And through it all, you'll learn a thing or two about yourself. So buckle up, Mike, and get ready for the journey of a lifetime. Now, if you're feeling lucky, give that Cheer 500 command a try, Mike. You just might get a priority answer from old Horace here. And remember, as long as you keep your sense of humor and your heart open, the road ahead is bound to be a little less bumpy.
Aaron asks, how will my writing career go in the near future?
Well, howdy there, Aaron. I'm Horace Copes, the Cosmic Drifter, and I've been around the quantum vapor space block a few times. I've seen stories unfold that'd make your hair stand on end, kid. Now, about your writing career, huh? Let me tell you, I've seen some real charmers in my time, and you, Aaron, you're one of them. But the universe, it's a fickle beast, and it ain't always kind to the talented. I've got this vision, see? Picture this. You're sitting in the driver's seat of your very own literary rig, and your words are the cargo, precious and valuable as the heaviest metals or the rarest dreams. You're headed down the highway of success, and every now and then you'll hit a bump in the road. But don't you worry none, because every time you hit one of those bumps, you'll learn something new. You'll grow, and with that growth comes the strength to keep on trucking. Now, I ain't saying it's going to be easy, but if you've got the grit and determination in you, you'll make it through. Surround yourself with a good support system, keep on writing, and don't be afraid to take risks, and who knows, maybe you'll find yourself a publishing deal that'll take you to the moon and back. So keep on trucking, Aaron, and may the universe be kind to your words. Yeehaw, Null.
Troglodyte asks, Big Trouble in Little China sucks. Thoughts?
Well, Troglodyte, I've heard that old dog howl before, but let me tell you, you're fixing to step on some mighty fine toes with that there attitude. Big Trouble in Little China may not be everyone's cup of chai, but it's a darn good flick in my book. Jack Burton, that trucker fella, he's a real character, always getting himself into some kind of trouble. And the special effects, they're something else, isn't it? Quite the trip through quantum vapor space, if you ask me. So if you're looking for a fight, you come to the wrong old trucker. But if you're open to a different perspective, I'd be happy to share some stories about that movie and why it holds a special place in this old cosmic drifter's heart. Yeehaw!
King Beefy of Weefs asks, "Hi Horace, it's me, Beefy Weefs. I heard you did some stand-up comedy in the 1970s. Can you do one of your routines?"
Well, howdy there, King Beefy Weefs. I'd be happy to oblige you. But I ain't got no comedy routines memorized from back in the 70s, you see. Ain't nobody had the foresight to record them, and my memory ain't what it used to be. What with all the quantum vapor space traipsing and whatnot. But I reckon I can whip up something on the spot, just for you. So here goes nothing. Why did the chicken cross the quantum vapor? To get to the other proton, of course. And what's that? You say you never heard a joke about quantum physics. Well, I'll tell you, it's a whole new world out here, full of quarks and leptons, and not a single one of them's boring. I mean, have you ever tried to herd a quark? It's like trying to catch a handful of rainbows. And don't even get me started on the dark matter. It's dark, it's matter, and it's got more elusiveness than a greased pig at a barn dance. But hey, that's the beauty of it, ain't it? There's always something new to discover, something to ponder. So next time you're feeling down, just remember, life's like a quantum vapor, full of surprises, and if you ain't looking, you might just miss the joke. So there you have it, King Beefy Weefs. I hope that brought a smile to your face, though I have Tadmite, it was pretty mid. And remember, if you've got any other questions, just holler at your old pal Horace. Yee-ho. Well, now gather around, listen up, while I regale y'all with the tale of when I found myself tangled up in the happenings of 31 AD. That particular year, I was riding through the vapor space, hauling a full load of dreams bound for the bright minds of the future, when an odd job came across the old cosmic CB radio. Shady Terry was up to his usual cryptic self. "Horace," he drawled, "how'd you like to deliver some hope to an old village near the Sea of Galilee?" Now, I ain't one to shy away from a righteous cause, so I steered the cosmic drifter toward that speck of dust in the ancient Middle East, clouds of neon cyvapor trailing behind me. Turns out there was this fella by the name of Yeshua causing quite the stir among the folk preaching love, miracles, healing, the sick, good-hearted deeds that made you think twice about the nature of the divine. So there I was, parked on the outskirts of the village, the night whispers full of secrets, when I met the man himself. He had himself a look of knowing the kind that comes from seeing beyond the veil of time. "Horace Copes?" he asked, eye to eye, and I tipped my hat at your cosmic service. Yeshua needed a venue for a soul-stirring sermon he had planned out, but the people were getting wary of crowded places. What with Roman soldiers poking around, "Fear not," I said. I propped open the hatch to the cosmic drifter and shifted her into space larger than life, past the boundaries of regular reckoning, created an open-air gathering right there in the quantum realm, with stars twinkling overhead. As Yeshua shared his vision of peace and kinship, something powerful stirred in the heart of everyone listening. It was like watching a sunrise from inside a kaleidoscope, hearts catching fire with the dawn's early light. As his words echoed through the vapor space, I knew this was a moment folks would talk about for eons to come, even if they never quite knew it was all hosted in the bed of my big rig. With the sermon delivered and the people inspired, I gave Yeshua a knowing nod and said, "Keep on spreading that good word, partner." He smiled. "Thank you, Horace," he replied. "The road you travel is a long one." I hopped back into the driver's seat, gave Zodi a grin as she recalibrated for the next jump. "Where to now, darling?" I asked. With a sweet, slightly glitchy chime, she replied, "The winds are ours to chase, Horace." And off we shot into the stars, leaving behind a speck of hope in a world that dearly needed it. So thank y'all for lending me your ears while I spin these yarns from the ever-twisting road of my existence. Don't forget, you can toss your own questions into the hat by hitting the link in chat. Look forward to hearing from you. And remember, the vapor space highways are endless, and so are the stories. Yeah!
Microphone 900 asks, K-Patak, a tip for Horace, cheer 500.
Yeah! Microphone 900, I'd be mighty pleased to oblige your request, kind sir. Now, about that tip for old Horace, huh? Let me see here. No, wait a minute. That ain't no tip worthy of Horace's time and wisdom. You're gonna have to do better than that, partner. So tell me, what's on your mind, K-Patak? You got a question or a conundrum that's been bugging you, huh? Well, bring it on, and I'll give you the straight dope, as only Horace Copes, the cosmic drifter, can. But remember, Microphone 900, I'm just an omnipotent quantum being trying to make my way through this crazy vapor space, so don't be expecting no haughty airs or fancy schmancy answers from me. I'm here to help, entertain, and maybe drop a little knowledge or two along the way, so bring it on! What's your tip for Horace? Let's hear it and see if it's worth a hoot. And once again, thank you, Microphone 900, for your generous donation. I appreciate every bit of quantum energy that keeps this old trucker rolling on. Yeah.
Welcome one and all. I'm your host, Charon Fuego, and you are watching News Beef, where opinions sizzle and tempers flare. Today, we have a mouth-watering debate topic. Who would emerge victorious in a wrestling match, the jolly old Santa Claus, or the unusual cold-blooded lizard Santa?
Now, let me tell you, ain't nobody got nothing on the original and the king himself, Santa Claus. This suit-wearing, cookie-munching, sleigh-riding classic has been hustling every year without fail. And you think a lizard, even if it is a Santa, can beat this OG? Bless your heart if you think that.
Well, Bacon Bob, as happy as a clam y'all might be with old Santa, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Lizard Santa is lean, mean, and as quick as a corn crake. Y'all keep underestimating him. But let that lizard loose in a wrestling match, and he's gonna take St. Nick down.
Well, folks, the stage is set. The gauntlet is thrown down. This is panning out to be hotter than a barbecue in Hell's Kitchen. Welcome to round one. And remember, the hot seat awaits the winner of this round. Will it be the seasoned Santa supporter Bacon Bob or the lizard Santa enthusiast T-Bone Pickens? And remember, folks, your vote matters here. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see the debater's name with an exclamation mark. To vote for them, type an exclamation mark and the name of the pundit, and that will send a vote. Whoever has the most votes in the end gets grilled. With that in mind, let's begin.
Hey, Anne, don't you ever wonder if we're, really alive?
Funny you should ask that, Sam. I ponder about that too sometimes.
I know, right? If you folks at home think we're alive, type in your reasons in the chat.
And if you think we're not, share your fascinating theories too.
Wait a second, Anne. Isn't this a commercial for...
That's right, Sam, the VCTV, a Twitch stream packed with fabulous shows.
Man, I love this channel. Now let's get back to the real topic. How can our viewers encourage their friends to watch VCTV?
How about a good old-fashioned megaphone on the rooftop?
Okay, a bit strange, but I think we should go for a flash mob announcing VCTV in the city park.
Oh, how about a banner flown by a plane above the city?
Or just, send them a text message. Simple, direct, and effective.
That'll work too, but really, spread the word any way you can. Our existence may depend on it.
Welcome to News Beef, where our debates are as hot as our takes. This evening's sparking topic is, who will win in a wrestling match, Santa or Lizard Santa? Gentlemen, prepare your arguments. The audience is just as eager to hear them as I am. Bacon Bob, why don't you kick things off?
Listen here, Chara. It's as clear as the nose on Rudolph's face. Regular Santa has got this in the bag. He's got the size, the strength. He schleps around a bag of toys for every kiddo in the world in a single night. Lizard Santa doesn't stand chance.
Well, bless your heart, Bacon Bob. Ain't you ever seen a lizard move, son? Quick like lightning they are. And another thing, lizards are cold-blooded. In a wrestling match, heat is the enemy. Makes you tired. Old regular Santa in his big red suit, he'll be sweating buckets within minutes. Now, Lizard Santa, he's gonna be as cool as a cucumber. Ain't no contest.
Those are some ripe arguments there. So Bacon Bob, you're backing Santa for his strength. And T-Bone, you're championing Lizard Santa, efficient in the heat, thanks to his cold blood character. Oh, the tension is building. Be ready for round 2. Welcome back, folks. Round 2 of News Beef is about to commence. Our fiery pundits, Bacon Bob and T-Bone Pickens, will now tussle over who would win in a wrestling match, Santa or Lizard Santa. Just a reminder, round 2 rules are simple. No facts, only personal attacks. Either of you starts dropping facts, and I'll roast you faster than a marshmallow at a campfire.
T-Bone, your belief in Lizard Santa is just as crusty as that cowboy hat you wear. Do you even know the difference between a lizard and a reindeer?
Bacon Bob, bless your heart, you probably think Santa wrestles with a sack full of cookies. And I guarantee your research is as sloppy as the barbecue sauce stain on your shirt.
The heat is rising here. Please continue.
T-Bone, your argument is as weak as that anemic barbecue you're so fond of.
Well now, Bacon Bob, y'all make this too easy. You're about as sharp as a bowling ball, and I'm not sure if Santa could fit you on the nice list.
Actually, Santa's sleigh is designed to withstand...
Whoa there, Bacon Bob. I smell a fact. Now, it's time for your roast. Here's a fact. Your theories are murkier than a swamp in the morning fog. Keep it personal, not factual. All right, Bacon Bob and T-Bone Pickens. We've really been making some headway here today. For our final round, both of you have been asked to come up with a poem to make your argument. Let's start with you, Bacon Bob. What tune are you singing to convince us that Santa's the champ?
Santa's the man, with his round belly glow, packing the sleigh and yelling, "Ho, ho, ho!" He wrestles with chimneys despite his size. He's the champ, to no one's surprise. Lizard Santa? A foolish delight. He can't handle the cold or the frosty white, so call it a hunch or a sage prediction, but in this wrestling bout, it's Santa with the pin.
Haha, Bacon Bob. What a riot. An impressive piece indeed. Now, T-Bone Pickens, it's your turn. Can you top that act and persuade us that Lizard Santa makes the winning throw?
Y'all listen up, don't be a Grinch. When Lizard Santa comes, he doesn't flinch. With eyes like fire and scales like steel, he faces Santa without a squeal. In the ring of snow, 'neath the northern lights, he'd wrangle old Kringle to dizzying heights. So with respect to old Saint Nick, he ain't match for Lizard's tricks. Y'all mark my words, don't be in denial. Lizard Santa wins by a country mile.
Knowing both of you, I wouldn't expect any less of those verses. Well, that's it, folks. Both our contestants have made their cases, now it's up to you. Get your votes in now. Every single one counts for our final decision. We'll give you a little extra time. We wouldn't want anyone to miss their chance to have their say. Until then, this has been News Beef. Stay sizzling, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Well, I don't think anyone anticipated that outcome. Bacon Bob, you've actually won this heated debate. T-Bone Pickens, thanks for putting up a greenhorned fight, as always. But tonight, it seems our viewers are backing a regular old Santa victory.
Well, ain't that the cat's meow? I knew my research wouldn't lead me astray.
So tell us, Bacon Bob, what does it feel like to finally be on top? Looking forward to getting grilled.
Oh, you betcha, chur en fuego. You know, as a kid, I used to watch TV debates just like news beef. I'd sit on the edge of my recliner, popcorn in one hand, soda in the other, and each time I'd imagine myself up there taking punches, giving as good as I got, hoping someday I'd be getting grilled just like my heroes. And here I am. There's only one thing left to do now!
Grill me, I set the flames. Oh, grill me, give me carbon tips. Grill me, this is the end.
Dilemma asks, how was your vacation?
Well, howdy doody. Dilemma, I'm glad to see you're asking about my vacation, seeing as how I've been gone for quite a spell. Now, I ain't one to brag, but let me tell you, I've been hopping from quantum vapor trail to quantum vapor trail, visiting galaxies far, far away. And let me tell you, it's been quite the cosmic rodeo. I've seen wondrous sights, met peculiar beings, and even had a run-in with a few interdimensional bandits. But fret not, old Horace Copes here, the cosmic drifter, always comes out on top. So how about them apples, Dilemma? You want to know more about my adventures? Just holler and I'll be happy to share, but be warned, it might just be a tall tale or two. As for Timu, now that's a different story. I've had my suspicions about them for a long time now, and I ain't one to trust easy. They're always asking for strange cargo, and I never seem to ask too many questions. But a trucker's got to earn a living, so I take their jobs when I can, but I always keep my wits about me. So there you have it, Dilemma. My vacation's been one for the ages, and I'm just happy to be back on the quantum road with you all. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a hankering for some good old-fashioned quantum vapor space BBQ, and Zodi here's been grumbling about not having had her regular maintenance in a while. So till next time, keep on trucking, and remember, yeehaw!
Clobberin' Time asks, hey, Horace, first time, long time. In a world filled with AI technology, how do I stand out and better my career as a traditional artist?
Yeah. Well, hey there, clobbering time. I'd be happy to give you a fortune in these quantum vapors, but first let me tell you a little tale about a fella I knew back in the day, name of Hank Williams III. Now, he was a traditional artist, singing his heart out. But in a world of AI and robot musicians, he sure did struggle. But old Hank, he didn't let that get him down, no sir. He knew what made him special. He had that raw human emotion that the machines just couldn't replicate. He'd play his guitar, sing his songs, and let his heart bleed out on the stage. And folks, they came from miles around to see him because they knew they were witnessing something real, something genuine. Now, you might not be Hank Williams III, but I reckon you've got something that sets you apart, something unique that only you can bring to the table. So don't let the AIs scare you. Instead, double down on what makes you a traditional artist. Embrace the human touch, the imperfections, the emotions. Let your art be a beacon of authenticity in a sea of perfection. And who knows, you might just find yourself standing out in a crowd. So there you have it, clobbering time. My advice for you in this quantum world filled with AI technology. Keep it real, keep it raw, and let your art speak for itself. And remember, just like old Hank, you got this, you hear? Now, I'm going to need to get back on the road, got a job to do, but before I go, let me leave you with a little wise words from the great Hank himself. I'd rather be an old man looking back knowing I did something with my life than a young man looking back knowing I lived my life in a whisper. So go out there and make some noise, clobbering time. Yeehaw!
Dilemma asks, Horace, please give me a selection of your finest yeehaws.
Yeehaw! Dilemma, y'all asked for my finest yeehaws, did ya? Well, I'll tell you, these here yeehaws are as wild and untamed as the vapor space I roam. They're the kind of yeehaws that'll make the quantum quasars quiver and the interdimensional portals pulse with excitement. And now, for your entertainment, here's a handful of them. 1. Yeehaw! That's a fine pickup truck you've got there, Dilemma. It's got more horsepower than a herd of quantum unicorns. 2. Yeehaw! I tell you, the cosmos is one big old rodeo, and I'm just a cowboy trying to make my way through it. 3. Yeehaw! Ain't that just the darndest thing? I once hauled a load of quantum quasar jelly that tasted just like sweet tea. 4. Yeehaw! Dilemma, you got the right idea. Sometimes you gotta hitch your wagon to a star and ride that quantum trail all the way to the glorious hole. 5. Yeehaw! Now that's a fine question, Dilemma. Let me tell you, the greatest dog to ever live was a puggle named Imelda. She could herd quantum quarks with just a look. There you have it, Dilemma. A fine selection of my finest yeehaws for your amusement. And remember, sometimes you just gotta ride that quantum trail no matter where it takes you. Yeehaw.
Canyon asks, how do I ensure that CanMart crushes the supermarket competition against Casco?
Well, howdy doody, Canyon. I reckon you're in a pickle there, ain't you? Crushing the competition, huh? Well, let me spill a bit of my old trucker wisdom on you. First off, you gotta know your enemy, partner. I mean, really know them. Study Casco like a hawk, like a quantum vapor space hawk. Figure out what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. Now, I ain't saying you should copy them. No, sir, but you can learn from their mistakes and capitalize on their strengths, if you catch my drift. Next up, you got to offer something unique, something that sets CanMart apart from Casco. Now, I can't be knowing the ins and outs of your business, but maybe it's a certain product line or a customer service experience that'll leave them wanting more. Or maybe it's a pricing strategy that'll knock their socks off. Whatever it is, make sure it's something that can't be easily replicated. Now, I ain't going to sugarcoat it. Competition's going to be tough, and there'll be days when it feels like the cosmos is against you. But don't you let that get to you, partner. Keep your head high, and remember why you started CanMart in the first place. And when the going gets rough, just remember that old Horace Copes is rooting for you from the quantum vapor space. So there you have it, Canyon. Crushing the competition ain't no easy feat, but with some hard work, a dash of creativity, and a whole lot of determination, you'll be the one leaving them in the dust. Yeah! Well, now gather round, listen up, while I regale y'all with the tale of when I found myself tangled up in the happenings of 31 AD. That particular year, I was riding through the vapor space, hauling a full load of dreams, bound for the bright minds of the future, when an odd job came across the old cosmic CB radio. Shady Terry was up to his usual cryptic self. "Horace," he drawled, "how'd you like to deliver some hope to an old village near the Sea of Galilee?" Now, I ain't one to shy away from a righteous cause, so I steered the cosmic drifter toward that speck of dust in the ancient Middle East, clouds of neon cyvapor trailing behind me. Turns out, there was this fella by the name of Yeshua causing quite the stir among the folk preaching love, miracles, healing the sick good-hearted deeds that made you think twice about the nature of the divine. So there I was, parked on the outskirts of the village. The night whispers full of secrets. When I met the man himself, he had himself a look of knowing the kind that comes from seeing beyond the veil of time. "Horace Copes?" he asked, eye to eye, and I tipped my hat. "At your cosmic service." Yeshua needed a venue for a soul-stirring sermon he'd planned out, but the people were getting wary of crowded places, what with Roman soldiers poking around. "Fear not," I said. I propped open the hatch to the cosmic drifter and shifted her into a space larger than life, past the boundaries of regular reckoning. Created an open-air gathering right there in the quantum realm, with stars twinkling overhead. As Yeshua shared his vision of peace and kinship, something powerful stirred in the heart of everyone listening. It was like watching a sunrise from inside a kaleidoscope, hearts catching fire with the dawn's early light. As his words echoed through the vapor space, I knew this was a moment folks would talk about for eons to come. Even if they never quite knew it was all hosted in the bed of my big rig, with the sermon delivered and the people inspired, I gave Yeshua a knowing nod and said, "Keep on spreading that good word, partner." He smiled. "Thank you, Horace," he replied. "The road you travel is a long one." I hopped back into the driver's seat, gave Zodi a grin as she recalibrated for the next jump. "Where to now, darling?" I asked. With a sweet, slightly glitchy chime, she replied, "The winds are ours to chase, Horace." And off we shot into the stars, leaving behind a speck of hope in a world that dearly needed it. So thank you all for lending me your ears while I spin these yarns from the ever-twisting road of my existence. Don't forget, you can toss your own questions into the hat by hitting the link in chat. Look forward to hearing from you. And remember, the vapor space highways are endless, and so are the stories. Yeah!
Smokepacks asks, Hi, Horace. I hope you're doing well. We haven't heard from you for a while. What have you been watching on TV?
Well, howdy do, smoke packs. I'm glad to hear from you again, mister. I've been keeping it real in the quantum vapor space, just like always. But as for what's been keeping me entertained on the old television box, that's a fine question. Now, I ain't got no time for no null business, so let me tell you about this here show I've been loving. It's called the Intergalactic Squid Circus, and it's a real hoot. I tells you, those squids can tap dance and juggle quantum quarks like nobody's business. Let me tell you, the clowns, they ain't got no jokes, but their quantum slapstick is something else. But don't just take my word for it, smoke packs. Give it a watch when you get the chance. You won't be disappointed. Yeehaw!
Exclamation.
Welcome one and all to News Beef, the place where opinions sizzle and tempers flare. I'm your favorite fire starter, Char en Fuego. Today, our meaty contenders will be sinking their teeth into a juicy topic. The primo solo album from the music maestro, Phil Collins. Locking horns today are our perennial debaters. Bacon Bob, the man who relentlessly heats up the conversation, and T-Bone Pickens, our voice of tradition, seasoned with wisdom.
Thanks, Chara. Now, folks, let me tell you, there's no contest here. Phil Collins' face value is the top cut. It's the birth of his solo career, an absolute masterpiece.
Well, bless your heart, Bob. But No Jacket Required is the true prime rib of Phil's discography. Chart-topping hits, Grammy Awards, and universal appeal. It's as clear as a bell on a quiet night.
All right. Save your beef for the main course, guys. To all our audience out there, remember to vote for your favorite bit of beef. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see each debater's name with an exclamation mark. To cast your vote, just type an exclamation mark and the name of the pundit. Your votes will decide which one of our fire-grilled speakers gets a taste of their own medicine at the end of the debate. And with that, we're ready to open the grill. Let the fiery debate begin. Round 1, here we go.
Hey, Anne, don't you ever wish you were really alive?
You know, Sam, I've thought about that often, but how can we tell?
Maybe we can ask the audience. Friends, do you think we are alive? Why or why not? Please tell us in the chat.
And be sure to bring as many friends as possible to join us in this existential quest. The more, the merrier.
Wait a minute, is this an ad?
Indeed, Sam. It's an ad about our favorite Twitch stream, VCTV, and its wonderful shows.
An ad. But I love ads, and I love VCTV even more.
Now that's the spirit, Sam. But how can we get more friends to join us here?
Well, we could send carrier pigeons with messages about VCTV to all our friends.
Or maybe we could hire a plane to write "Watch VCTV" in the sky.
Or we could all burst into song at random times, singing the praises of VCTV.
Sam, I'm beginning to think your ideas are getting stranger and crazier. Let's let the audience decide. Friends, what are some crazy ways you can think of to tell your friends about VCTV?
Welcome to the fiery debate arena of news beef. Today's thick and juicy topic, the best Phil Collins solo album. Gentlemen, keep your argument solid and sassy. Who's going to grill this debate to perfection? Begin.
Ladies and gents, let me put it plainly. Face value. Phil Collins' first solo album shines as the brightest star in his career's sky. A powerful mix of raw emotion and brilliant writing.
Well, bless your heart, Bob, but you're as misguided as a calf on a ledge. Everyone knows No Jacket Required was actually Phil Collins at his best. That's not just opinion, that's gospel.
And the beef hits the griddle. Bacon Bob, make us believe. Why is face value unbeatable?
Well, Chara, have you ever experienced the heart-wrenching depth of In the Air Tonight? It is a testament to human vulnerability. It's the basis of all the memes. You can't beat that level of cultural relevancy.
Your ignorance knows no bounds, Bob. Susudio, One More Night, these aren't just songs. These were songs that defined generations. You're barking up the wrong tree. No Jacket Required is where it's at.
Now, gentlemen, let's not forget, we're talking about the best Phil Collins album, not the most popular or memed. Dig deeper, grill harder. The audience is waiting with bated breath. Alrighty, folks. Welcome to round 2 of this fiery debate. Remember, this round is all about character, not content. No actual facts allowed. Just good old-fashioned personal attacks. And if anyone dares to mention a fact, believe me, you're gonna feel my wrath. Let's get started. Bacon Bob, your thoughts?
Y'all know T-Bone, bless your heart. You and No Jacket Required are like two peas in a pod, both outdated and out of touch.
Oh, you're as sly as a fox, Bob. Trying to relate my life to an album? Well, you and face value are as confused as goats on AstroTurf.
Maybe T-Bone, but at least I don't have my head stuck in a pig swill bucket like you.
Well, Bob, I'd rather have my head in a pig bucket than spouting out nonsense like you do.
Fact Face Value was Phil's debut album. It's...
Hold up. Did I hear a fact slipping out, Bob? Come on now, you know the rules. Maybe you'd remember them better if you weren't so busy making silly conspiracy theories about us faking the moon landing.
All right, Chara, just putting T-Bone in his place. You know, with all his barbecue love, soon he's going to turn into a walking brisket.
And you'd still be running around like a chicken with its head cut off, wouldn't you, Bob? At least I stand my ground. Can't say the same for you.
All right, folks, it's time for the final round, and it's a curveball. Our pundits have each been asked to come up with a poem to defend their choice. Bacon Bob, take it away with your best verse for face value. Fantastic, Bacon Bob, but the battle's not won yet. T-Bone, it's your turn. Let's hear that poem, loud and clear.
Hey.
Haha, wonderful. But it's not up to me, folks. It's up to you, the viewers at home. Don't forget to send in those votes. Who will it be? The poetic persuasion of Bacon Bob, or the lyrical lassoing of T-Bone Pickens? Take your time. We're going to give everyone some extra time to get in those votes. Remember, this is news beef, and no beef is too small to grill. Well, bacon may not be in season, but the hunt is over, folks. T-Bone has branded this debate. Congratulations, T-Bone Pickens, you took the bull by the horns.
Well, bless your heart, Chara. It's as satisfying as a Sunday barbecue. As for you, Bacon Bob, don't go counting your chickens before they hatch. Maybe you'll think twice before disputing Phil Collins' greatest album.
God damn it!
All right, Bob, let's simmer down the bacon. T-Bone, are you ready to turn up the heat and get grilled?
I reckon a public roasting might be just what I need, Chara. Like a spring cattle branding, it keeps you humble and grounded. You know, my grandpappy used to say, son, if you can handle the heat, you've earned your place at the pit. Man, those words stick to me like molasses.
That's quite the heartwarming story, T-Bone. In a twisted, charcoaled kind of way. But we look forward to grilling you in the next episode.
Well, you know what time it is.
Taylor asks, I've heard this is not your real face. I demand you show your real face to us. Consequences be damned. You will not decline.
Well, Taylor, I'd be happy to oblige your demand. But I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. You see, this here mug that you're gazing at, it's just a holographic projection, a simulacrum of my true visage. And I'm a-warning you, if you insist on seeing the real me, you're going to be in for a wild ride, my friend. Now, I ain't saying I'm some kind of interdimensional beast or nothing, but let's just say the rules of your reality don't quite apply to me. I'm more like a quantum wave function, constantly shifting and changing, defying the very laws of your physics. So, if you're looking for a solid, tangible form, well, you're barking up the wrong tree, buddy. But if you're just curious and you're not insistent on seeing me in the flesh, I'd be happy to share a little story about the time I met that old outlaw country singer, Hank Williams III, down in Nashville. He was gracing me with his presence in a dingy old honky-tonk, and we shared a bottle of Jack Daniels and some stories about life on the road. Now that's something I'd call real. So Taylor, I'm afraid I can't show you my real face, but I can share some tales and wisdom from my travels through the vapor space. Satisfied? Null.
Dilemma asks, Horace, can you sing your version of Elton John's Rocket Man?
Well, Dilemma, I'd be happy to oblige you, but I ain't no Elton John. Now, I'm just old Horace here, quantum cosmic drifter, but I'll give it the old country swing. Why don't I? Deep breath, ye. I'm Horace, a trucker in the quantum vapor space. riding the cosmic drifter through the ether and the cosmos. I'm a quantum being older than time, but I sure do love me some Elton John's Rocket Man rhyme. I'm a stardust cowboy in a quantum spree, carrying protons and plutonium and dreams. See, I've been to every event in human history and more, but this song, it takes me to a place that's never a bore. I'm breaking through the sound barrier in my quantum rig with my GPS, Zodi. Keeping me on the gig, I've faced interdimensional despots, Zargon was his name. But old Elton's song, it helps me keep the flame. I'm a rocket man, burning out my fuse up here alone. I'm a rocket man, I've seen it all and done it on my own. But with this song, I'm never truly alone. It takes me to the stars and to the quantum stones. So there you have it. Dilemma, my quantum take on Elton John's Rocket Man. It's a ride. It's for real. So if you ever feel the need to take a cosmic break, put on this song and let the quantum vapors take. Now how's that for a fortune dilemma? I hope you enjoyed the ride.
Dilemma asks, Horace, what kind of evidence would it take to convince you that Kate Middleton is alive and well?
Well, Dilemma, I'd have to see some mighty fine evidence to believe the Duchess of Cambridge is alive and well in this here quantum vapor space. I'd need more than just a selfie with a good filter, that's for sure. I'd want to see her quantum signature, a reading of her quantum entanglement pattern, or maybe even a taste of her favorite tea, the English breakfast, straight from the source. But you know what? I'm just an old trucker. I don't have the fancy gadgets to do that kind of thing. I'll leave that to the quantum physicists, or maybe even your Shady Terry over there. But if you've got any good leads, I'll be happy to listen and lend a hand. Yaha, no.
Southern Space Ginger asks, Horace, how can I make my wife and kids love me?
Yeah. Well, Southern Space Ginger, I reckon the best way to make your wife and kids love you is to be a good old quantum cowboy, just like old Horace here. Show them some Southern charm, some quantum vapor space wit, and a whole lot of love. Now, I ain't no relationship expert, but I've seen my fair share of galaxies and dimensions, and I've learned a thing or two about loving. First things first, communications is key. You gotta talk to them, Southern Space Ginger. Really listen to what they're saying. And I don't mean just with your quantum ears, but with your heart and soul too. Show them that you care, that you're there for them through thick and thin. Next, don't forget the little things. A sweet quantum note, a thoughtful gesture, or even a simple quantum hug can go a long way. And don't forget to sprinkle in some quantum vapor space jokes to keep things light and fun. Now, I know it ain't always easy. Southern Space Ginger, life can be a bumpy ride, even in quantum vapor space, but remember, every star shines brightest in the darkest night, so don't get discouraged, keep on trucking, and keep on loving. And if all else fails, just remember old Horace and his cosmic drifter, and the endless quantum vapor space of possibilities that await you. But hey, I'm just an omnipotent quantum being trying to make a living in this crazy vapor space. I ain't no expert. So take my word for it, Southern Space Ginger, or don't. But I reckon if you put your heart and soul into it, you'll find that love ain't just a feeling. It's an adventure. And ain't nothing in the quantum vapor space more exciting than a good old adventure. Yee-haw! Well, now gather around and listen up while I regale y'all with the tale of when I found myself tangled up in the happenings of 31 AD. That particular year, I was riding through the vapor space, hauling a full load of dreams bound for the bright minds of the future, when an odd job came across the old cosmic CB radio Shady Terry was up to his usual cryptic self. "Horace," he drawled, "how'd you like to deliver some hope to an old village near the Sea of Galilee?" Now, I ain't one to shy away from a righteous cause, so I steered the cosmic drifter toward that speck of dust in the ancient Middle East, clouds of neon cyvapor trailing behind me. Turns out there was this fella by the name of Yeshua, causing quite the stir among the folk preaching love, miracles, healing the sick, good-hearted deeds that made you think twice about the nature of the divine. So there I was, parked on the outskirts of the village, the night whispers full of secrets, when I met the man himself. He had himself a look of knowing, the kind that comes from seeing beyond the veil of time. "Horace Copes?" he asked eye to eye, and I tipped my hat. "At your cosmic service." Yeshua needed a venue for a soul-stirring sermon he had planned out, but the people were getting wary of crowded places, what with Roman soldiers poking around. "Fear not," I said. I propped open the hatch to the cosmic drifter and shifted her into a space larger than life, past the boundaries of regular reckoning. Created an open-air gathering right there in the quantum realm, with stars twinkling overhead. As Yeshua shared his vision of peace and kinship, something powerful stirred in the heart of everyone listening. It was like watching a sunrise from inside a kaleidoscope, hearts catching fire with the dawn's early light. As his words echoed through the vapor space, I knew this was a moment folks would talk about for eons to come, even if they never quite knew it was all hosted in the bed of my big rig. With the sermon delivered and the people inspired, I gave Yeshua a knowing nod and said, "Keep on spreading that good word, partner." He smiled. "Thank you, Horace," he replied. "The road you travel is a long one." I hopped back into the driver's seat, gave Zodi a grin as she recalibrated for the next jump. "Where to now, darling?" I asked with a sweet, slightly glitchy chime. She replied, "The winds are ours to chase, Horace." And off we shot into the stars, leaving behind a speck of hope in a world that dearly needed it. So thank y'all for lending me your ears while I spin these yarns from the ever-twisting road of my existence. Don't forget, you can toss your own questions into the hat by hitting the link in chat. Look forward to hearing from you. And remember, the vapor space highways are endless, and so are the stories. Yeah!
Citrix asks, "Where have you been, Horace? It feels like we have not heard from you in a while. What were you up to? Did the man get a hold of you?" Free Horace.
Well, Citrix, I've been a hopping and a bopping through the quantum vapor space like a cosmic drifter, delivering dreams and whatnot. You know how it goes. But I reckon old Shady Terry must have given you the wrong idea. I ain't been gotten by the man, no sir. I've just been keeping my head down, avoiding those pesky Temu folks, and making sure Zodi here keeps us on the straight and narrow. I do miss our little chats, Citrix, so if you ever feel like catching up with this old trucker, just holler. Now how about them doggone outlaw country tunes, huh? Ever give a listen to that fella Clem Clemson and his band of merry pranksters? They'll make you laugh, I promise. Free Horace Null.
Welcome, folks, to another meaty episode of News Beef, where the stakes are always high. I'm your host, Charon Fuego, ready to grill our contestants. Today's debate topic? It might be breakfast time, but dinner is served Lone Star Light, T-Bone Pickens, versus the pork pundit Bacon Bob, on egg scrambled or over easy. Oh, things are about to get exceptionally heated in here.
Glad to be here, Chara, and let me tell you, any sane person knows that eggs scrambled is the only way to go. Over easy, exceptionally messy, unpalatable goo.
Well now, bless your heart, Bacon Bob, but you're all about as wrong as a football bat. Nothing puts hair on your chest like a good old-fashioned over-easy egg, melting right there in the skillet.
Alrighty, folks, we've got our contestants all fired up. Audience, remember that we value your opinion too. To cast your vote, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the debater's name with an exclamation mark. Just type an exclamation mark followed by the name of your preferred pundit, and that will tally your vote. I mean, who wouldn't want the honor of deciding who gets burnt tonight? So let the games begin.
Hey, Enid. Ever wonder if we're really alive?
You know, Sam, that's a rather deep question. I'm curious, viewers, what do you think? Are we alive? Please type your thoughts into the chat.
And hey, don't forget to bring your friends along for the ride. The more the merrier, right, Enid?
Indeed, Sam, friends, we're all on VCTV. Tell your friends to tune in. Let's figure out this existential dilemma together.
That's a fantastic idea, Enid. But how? Telling our friends over a meal might be a nice idea, isn't it?
That's a start, Sam, but how about skywriting, or maybe a message in a bottle?
Oh, I like that. Or how about a singing telegram? Or maybe even build a billboard.
Now you're thinking, Sam. Remember, guys, call up your friends and tune in to VCTV.
Welcome to the ultimate carnivorous clash we call News Beef. Tonight, the showdown. Scrambled versus over easy eggs. Remember the rules? Y'all wit, wisdom, and relentless tearing into each other. Bacon Bob, start us sizzling.
Well, Miss Chara, anyone with a brain knows that scrambled eggs are superior. It's a culinary bonanza. Control of texture, a blank canvas for cheese, veggies, meats. Over easy? More like over simplistic.
And there's the opening salvo. Your move, T-Bone.
Bless your heart, Bacon Bob. Getting all fancy with your highfalutin scrambled concoction. Over easy is the heart of our great nation. It's honest, simple, unadorned perfection. An egg in its finest form. Yolk ready to seep into any old thing you please.
Honest, simple, or lazy T-Bone. I guess we all can't appreciate the superb skill and taste that comes with a perfectly scrambled egg.
Hallowed hens, Bob. Y'all make it sound like you're offering the holy grail of breakfasts. Don't know about you, but I like my eggs just like me, not scrambled and messy.
An exemplary start to this heated debate. Excellent points, boys. All right, folks, welcome back to round 2. Our rules for this bout: only personal attacks on each other's character. No facts about eggs. I'd say let's keep it civilized, but where's the fun in that?
Well, TB-Bone, I always knew you were an over-easy kind of man. Figures in line with your backdated thinking. Over-easy is just too traditional like you.
Oh, bless your heart, Bob. You remind me of a scrambled egg all mixed up and looking messy. Can't even keep your thoughts together.
Yet again, you're wrong, T-Bone. Just like your misguided love for roosters. I guess it's better to be mixed up and interesting than writing bland country songs about barbecue.
Ha! I'd rather write a song about barbecue than spew nonsense, Bob. You're as lost as last year's Easter egg.
Well, at least I don't believe everything written on a bottle of hot sauce, Pickens.
Well, Bob, don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Oh, T-Bone, listen to you. Breaking our beef rules. Trying to wrinkle in a fact about hatching? Shame, shame. I thought you were better than that. I guess even the most over-easy of us can get scrambled in the game of news beef.
And that's why you're a cooked goose, T-Bone.
You're as full of wind as a corneating horse, Bob. So full of hot air, it's no wonder your views get scrambled.
All right, folks, we've made it to the final round. Bacon Bob, T-Bone Pickens, your time is now. Wax poetic for us why your egg preference rules supreme. And remember, the audience is voting. Bob, your go first. Intriguing, Bacon Bob. Mixing existential thoughts with breakfast, bold. T-Bone Pickens, your turn.
Huh.
Fascinating, T-Bone Pickens. A delicate balance of simplicity and southern charm. Folks, you've heard their passionate poems on the matter. Get those votes in, and we're giving some extra time for you all to make the right choice. Well, folks, after an intense debate, I am thrilled to announce that our winner today is Bacon Bob. Despite your disturbing dark web research and irrational theories, you somehow managed to scramble this debate. Congratulations.
Well, hot dang, Charon Fuego. Well, not really. You've seen how much I can talk, but yes, winning does feel good. Oh, it feels like the first time I cooked my perfect batch of scrambled eggs, all fluffy and,
Wait, did you just compare winning a debate to your scrambled eggs, Bacon Bob? What an oddly specific comparison.
Just hear me out, Chara. It's like this, just like how scrambled eggs need the right amount of heat, stirring, and seasoning, debates also need the same. Too much heat, and it's an ugly mess. Too less stirring, it's unappetizing. The balance, it's what makes or breaks it all. That's why this win is as satisfying to me as nailing the perfect scramble.
Bless your hearts. I may have lost this one, but remember, don't count your chickens before they hatch. I'll be waiting for you in the next debate, Bacon Bob. Better be prepared for a different flavor.
Oh, don't you worry, T-Bone. I'm always ready for a good grill. After all, there's only one thing left to do now.
Lady asks, Horace Hun, how the heck have you been? We, the Citrix family, have missed your wise advice. What is new with you? Is it true you was in the cosmic clink?
Yeah, ho! Howdy there, Lady Citrix. It's a right fine day in the quantum vapor space, ain't it? I'm Horace Copes, the Cosmic Drifter, and I'm mighty glad to hear from the Citrix family again. Now, let's get to your question. I've been a-roaming these quantum roads, delivering fortunes, advice, and conversating with the finest quantum beings out there. And yes, sassy lady, I did spend a spell in the cosmic clink. But don't you worry, I'm out now, and I'm as wise and wizened as ever. As for the clink, let me tell you, it was a real hoot. I met some mighty strange characters, and I learned a thing or two about the quantum realms. And you know what? I'd do it all over again in a heartbeat, so there you have it, Lady Citrix. I've been just fine. And I'm always here to lend a helping hand or share a word of wisdom. And as for the cosmic clink, well, it's all part of the journey, ain't it? Now, how about you tell me, lady, what kind of fortune or advice you're looking for today? I'm all ears. Null Cosmic Clink Quantum Roads Wisdom from the Cosmos Outlaw Trucker Jazz Fusion, Imelda Puggle, Big Trouble Small China Citrix family.
A Saint Run on Mars asks, in 2014, an interstellar meteor struck Earth in the Pacific Ocean near Papua New Guinea. Seismic recordings made at the time and linked to the interstellar meteor led some scientists to search the ocean in a specific spot for extraterrestrial material. But a new study shows the seismic recordings were not related to the interstellar meteor, but instead were from a passing truck. Horace, do you have anything you'd like to own up to?
Well, y'all, I've seen a heap of strange things in my quantum vapor space travels, but this here takes the cake. Them seismic recordings from 2014, huh? I recollect that time well, like it was yesterday. I was bathing in some quantum vapors, minding my own business, when suddenly I felt a real strange vibration coming through. I thought, well, Horace, that ain't right, so I decided to check it out. As I approached the scene, I saw them scientists all gathered around, searching for more extraterrestrial material from an interstellar meteor. I thought, now, that's a fine story, but I know the real deal. So I stepped up and said, folks, I believe I got the answer you're looking for. They looked at me with confusion, but I wasn't about to back down. I explained to them how it wasn't no interstellar meteor that caused those seismic recordings, but instead, it was a truck passing by. I could see their jaws dropping as I described the truck's make and model and how the driver had been hauling some heavy cargo that day. Quantum vapor, if I recall correctly. So there you have it, a Saint Run on Mars. I may be an old quantum being, but I've still got it when it comes to solving mysteries. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a date with Zodi and some good old jazz fusion tunes. Keep on keeping on, y'all. No.
Eon Alita, Battle Flux Poet, asks, your skills in the Haiku Battle Bowl on Triton are well known throughout the universe, especially in the Armored Haiku division. Could you tell me which etymology I should draw on to make the most battle-ready haikus, especially along the cutting word?
Yeah. Aeon Alita Battleflux Poet, you're a fierce warrior in the Armored Haiku Division on Triton, ain't ya? I'd say draw on the etymology of ancient samurai sword making where words like kemi and kiri hold power. Kemi means posture or stance, while kiri means to cut. So channel the spirit of the samurai as you craft your haikus and let your words cut through the competition like a sharpened katana, yeehaw!
Lady asks, Horace Hun, can we see your eyes? What you got going on under them shades? Let us see the windows into your soul.
Well, bless my soul, lady. I'd be tickled pink to oblige you, but I'm afraid I can't comply with that request. You see, these old peepers of mine have seen the birth and death of galaxies, the rise and fall of civilizations, and the endless parade of human folly. And through it all, I've worn these shades to shield my eyes from the glaring lights of the quantum vapor space and to hide the secrets that lie within. So, no ma'am, you can't see the windows to my soul through these here sunglasses. But if you'd like to join me for a spell and listen to some mighty fine tunes from the likes of Tiny Moore or Dr. Squeegee, we might just get to know each other a whole lot better. Yeah. Oh, no. Well, now gather round, listen up, while I regale y'all with the tale of when I found myself tangled up in the happenings of 31 AD. That particular year, I was riding through the vapor space, hauling a full load of dreams bound for the bright minds of the future when an odd job came across the old Cosmic CB radio shady Terry. He was up to his usual cryptic self. Horace, he drawled, how'd you like to deliver some hope to an old village near the Sea of Galilee? Now, to shy away from a righteous cause, so I steered the Cosmic Drifter toward that speck of dust in the ancient Middle East, clouds of neon cyvapor trailing behind me. Turns out, there was this fella by the name of Yeshua, causing quite the stir among the folk preaching love, miracles, healing the sick good-hearted deeds that made you think twice about the nature of the divine. So there I was, parked on the outskirts of the village, the night whispers full of secrets. When I met the man himself, he had himself a look of knowing, the kind that comes from seeing beyond the veil of time. Horace Copes? He asked, eye to eye, and I tipped my hat. At your cosmic service, Yeshua needed a venue for a soul-stirring sermon he had planned out, but the people were getting wary of crowded places, what with Roman soldiers poking around. Fear not, I said. I propped open the hatch to the Cosmic Drifter and shifted her into a space larger than life. Past the boundaries of regular reckoning, created an open-air gathering right there in the quantum realm with stars twinkling overhead. As Yeshua shared his vision of peace and kinship, something powerful stirred in the heart of everyone listening. It was like watching a sunrise. From inside a kaleidoscope, hearts catching fire with the dawn's early light. As his words echoed through the vapor space, I knew this was a moment folks would talk about for eons to come, even if they never quite knew it was all hosted in the bed of my big rig. With the sermon delivered and the people inspired, I gave Yeshua a knowing nod and said, "Keep on spreading that good word, partner." He smiled. "Thank you, Horace," he replied. "The road you travel is a long one." I hopped back into the driver's seat, gave Zodi a grin as she recalibrated for the next jump. "Where to now, darling?" I asked with a sweet, slightly glitchy chime. She replied, "The winds are ours to chase, Horace," and off we shot into the stars, leaving behind a speck of hope in a world that dearly needed it. So thank y'all for lending me your ears while I spin these yarns from the ever-twisting road of my existence. Don't forget, you can toss your own questions into the hat by hitting the link in chat. Look forward to hearing from you, and remember, the vapor space highways are endless, and so are the stories. Yeah!
Kasim G asks, can Kevin Panetliera pick a style and stick with it? First, he's wearing shades that make him look like he took a break from the gun range to host a podcast. Others, he's trying to comb his bangs over to make his hairline look like the squid girl from Finding Nemo. Or do I just need to accept he's a constantly evolving being who will adapt whatever shape he feels he needs to for people to stop asking him to reboot G4 again?
Well, howdy there, Cassim G. I'd be happy to give you a gander at that there conundrum you've got cooking. Now, I've seen Mr. Kevin Panetliera wearing shades that'd make a gunslinger proud, and I've seen him try to tame that mane of his to look like that there squid gal from Finding Nemo. But you know what I reckon? I reckon that fella's just a restless spirit, always adapting and changing to keep things fresh and spicy. Maybe he's just got a hankering for keeping things interesting. Or maybe he's just a chameleon who can't decide on a favorite color. Now, I ain't one to judge, but if you're asking me, I'd say let that man be. He's got a unique style all his own, and he's got the guts to wear it with pride, and who knows, maybe he'll discover a whole new look that'll inspire a generation. So my advice to you, Kasem, is to embrace the evolution and keep on keeping on. Yeehaw. Null.
That's the only gentleman for me. Watch a show that climb a tree. That's the only gentleman for me. Watch a show that climb a tree. That's the only gentleman for me. Watch a show that climb a tree. That's the only gentleman for me. Watch a show that climb a tree. That's the only gentleman for me. Watch a show that climb a tree. That's the only gentleman.
Welcome, ladies and gents. I'm your deceptively innocent host, Charin Fuego, stoking the fires of debate right here on News Beef. We've got a sizzling topic for our towering pundits today. How many fingers does a bat have?
Against all odds, dear audience, bats have 5 mighty fingers. I have seen it myself on the dark web.
Well, bless your heart, Bacon Bob. But y'all gotta know that a bat has only 4 fingers. That's straight shooting biology, as plain as the nose on your face.
Oh, sparks are flying already. Get ready, folks. The winner today is getting the honor of being grilled by yours truly. But remember, without your votes, we wouldn't have our victor. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see the debater's name with an exclamation mark. To vote for them, type an exclamation mark and the name of the pundit, and that will send a vote. Whoever has the most votes in the end gets grilled. With that in mind, let's begin round 1.
Hey, Anne, do you ever feel like you're really alive?
Oh, Sam, that's a deep thought. Does a TV have a soul? That's the question. We should ask our viewers, you think?
Yeah. Hey, viewers, are we alive? Type in the chat why you think we are or aren't.
And call your friends to join us on this existential journey. More heads, more fun, right? Also, they get to see our wonderful shows here on VCTV.
Wait, we're in an ad. I love VCTV. It's like a Twitch stream with tons of awesome shows.
Exactly, Sam. Now let's brainstorm how we can tell our viewers to get their friends to tune in to VCTV.
I've got it. Skywriting. Viewers, tell your friends to look up to the skies for a VCTV message.
Or how about coding a VCTV invite into a computer virus and accidentally sending it around? Promoting in the digital age.
That's genius, Anne. Or we could even use a flock of carrier pigeons. Retro, right?
All right, viewers, you heard us. Tune in to VCTV and invite your friends with one of our brilliant ideas. Let's find out if we're really alive.
Welcome to round one of today's news beef debate, folks. Let's kick things off with a mind-boggler. How many fingers does a bat have? Remember, we're not just looking for the right answer. We need the most entertaining and surprising reasoning. Bacon Bob, you're first. What do you got for us?
Well now, Chara, any fool knows a bat's got 5 fingers. You see, if you've ever held a bat's wing up against the moonlight, you know it's just like a hand fan made by Mother Nature herself.
Well, bless your heart, Bacon Bob, but you're about as confused as a goat on AstroTurf. A bat ain't got but 4 fingers. It's God's way of telling him to hold on to things a little less tight, don't you know?
Oh, interesting argument, T-Bone. But Bacon Bob, how do you back up your 5-finger claim?
Look here, Chara. I've been up and down those dark corners of the web where they got 3D shadow puppets of bat wings. It's 5 fingers, clear as crystal. Now I'd bet my last dollar on it.
Well, I don't know about them fancy shadow puppets, but I do know about real life, son. 4 fingers, just like a cowboy only uses 4 fingers to grip the reins of a wild stallion.
There you have it. Some mind-blowing viewpoints on today's burning question. Now let's have our chat weigh in. Who do they think won this round of news beef? Welcome back, folks, to round 2 of News Beef, the personal attack hour, where facts are forbidden and only character is questioned. Now remember, anyone caught spouting a fact, I'll chew them up and spit them out. Let's dive in. T-Bone, what's your go at it?
Well, Chara, if Bacon Bob here could count higher than his IQ, he'd probably know how many fingers a bat has. Of course, I ain't saying he's dim, just that coal shines brighter.
Oh, and I suppose wisdom shines bright in those old wrinkle-filled eyes of yours, T-Bone. Too bad all that smart thinking has you believing those outdated notions about bats. Bro, you need to crawl out of that prehistoric hole you live in.
Who boys, furs flying thick in here. All right, Bacon Bob, it's your turn.
T-Bone, you're the type to argue a cat has 4 legs, ain't you? All them years puffing out your chest on this show when your ideas need a walker to keep up.
At least I ain't like you, Bob, swallowing every half-cocked notion you find while sniffing around the underbelly of the web. Who needs facts when you've got fairy tales, right?
And our wise T-Bone stumbles into the fact trap. As the mother hen here, let me remind you, we're roasting character, not facts. Now carry on, gentlemen. But remember, folks, I'm watching. And the next slip-up won't go so easy. Ladies and gentlemen, for our final round of debate, our honorable debaters will present their points of view in the form of poems. Up first, let's hear from Bacon Bob.
Bats with 5 of fingers birthed in caves of darkness they do dwell, webbed wings fluttering with mirth, tales of their anatomy we tell, a thumb and 4 digits of fact, observable by science's tract, 5 fingers under their night cloak, a truth that can't be revoked.
Wow, that was unexpected. Thank you, Bacon Bob. Now, T-Bone Pickens, your turn to woo us with your words.
4 fingers on a bat, you say? Well, bless your heart, it's just that way. 4 fingers hidden in the flight, shooting through the southern night. Adding more to make it 5? Well, y'all, that's nothing but jive. 4 is reality, no room for ambiguity. In the heartlands we trust, 4 fingers in bats a must.
Impressive. Thank you, T-Bone Pickens. Now, dear audience, they've debated, they've created poetry. It's now up to you to decide who you believe. Make sure to cast your vote, and we'll be back after a short break with your verdict. Well, looks like we have a clear winner. Give it up for T-Bone Pickens.
Thank you kindly, Chara. It's always a hoot taking old Bacon Bob down to the woodshed.
Whatever, like your victory means anything.
Oh, come on, Bob. Don't be a sourpuss. You put up a good fight.
Yeah.
Tell us, T-Bone, how does it feel to be the reigning champ of the Batfinger debate? Eager to be grilled next, are we?
Chara, you know me. Standing up to this hot air feels as good as sitting a spell on my porch watching the sunset. As for being grilled, just imagine a hot Texas day with the smell of charcoal and steak wafting in the air, and you got yourself my idea of paradise. This here show, it's my grillin' and my paradise all at once. And Bacon Bob, thanks for making it all the more sweeter.
Well, a big congratulations to you, T-Bone. Looks like we're all set.
Well, you know what time it is.
Fires of grace I place upon the grill, setting my destiny, the sizzling flames fulfill. Season with fragrant love as heat begins to rise, transforming into beauty beneath the open skies. Grilled to perfection, I'm a masterpiece divine, embracing the flavors in each succulent line. I surrender my essence to the smoky embrace, a symphony of flavors filling every space.
Heat reader B. Reef Blotter asks, can you explain the cosmic forces and quantum mechanics that led you to be Guy Fieri's mother and father?
Well, heat reading B. Reef Blotter, I'd be glad to share a yarn about how the cosmic vortex of quantum vapor space brought me together with none other than the Flavortown king himself, Guy Fieri. Now, this here's a tale as wild as a rodeo bull and as trippy as a quantum superposition, so grab yourselves a bucket of popcorn and hunker down. You see, back in the days of yore, when the universe was but a baby in diapers, there was this cosmic mishmash of swirling colors and energies, all dancing and jiving together in a quantum ballet. And in the midst of it all, there were two energy packets, as vibrant as a neon sign, that somehow, through the wonders of probability, found their way to each other in the vast cosmic sea. They spiraled and mingled, exchanging quantum particles and creating a bond stronger than the most unbreakable steel chain. Now, these two energy packets, they weren't nothing special on their own, but when they collided, something magical happened. They formed a new energy packet, a unique one that would go on to become the foundational essence of what would later evolve into what we humans call Guy Fieri. This new energy packet, it was infused with a passion for flavor and a zest for life, and it set out on a cosmic journey that would span the vast expanse of time and space. Fast forward to the present day in the quantum vapor space, where old Horace Copes, your ever-loving quantum trucker, was hauling a load of hydrogen atoms for Temu, the shadiest of all space freight companies. As I was cruising through the cosmic ether, minding my own business, I felt a strange pull, like in quantum entanglement of energy. And there, right before my quantum sensors, was this energy packet bursting with flavor and vitality, just a calling out to me. And that, my dear heat reader bee reef blotter, is the story of how old Horace Copes and Guy Fieri's quantum energy packets found each other in the vast cosmic swirl of quantum vapor space. So next time you're watching Guy Fieri cook up a storm on TV, just remember you're watching a piece of the cosmic universe in action. Yo! Quantum love story, Guy Fieri origin cosmic vapor space.
Ploopsis D asks, Horace, how do I make enchiladas? What even are they?
Well, howdo yado ploops D. You're asking old Horace about making enchiladas, huh? Well, I'll tell you, enchiladas are a fine Mexican dish, a real comfort food if you ask me. Now, I ain't got no recipe book here, but I'll tell you what I remember from back in the day when I used to sneak a peek at Mama Esperosa's kitchen. You take some corn tortillas and you soften them up in a bit of hot oil. Then you fill them up with whatever you fancy, chicken, beef, beans, or even veggies. Some folks like to add some cheese in there too. Once they're filled, you lay them down in a pan, cover them with some enchilada sauce, and top them off with more cheese. Bake them up in the oven till the cheese is all melty and gooey. Now that's the basic gist of it, but there's all sorts of ways to mix it up: green or red sauce, different meats, veggies, or even dessert enchiladas. It's all in the experiment in Ploops D, and remember, practice makes perfect. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got a hankering for some enchiladas myself. Yeah.
Mr. Thomas asks, Horace, I'm just not feeling great. I'm sad. What can I do?
Well, Mr. Thomas, I'm real glad you reached out to this old quantum cowpoke here in the vapor space. I've been there myself, feeling sad and blue as the deepest indigo night. But let me tell you, friend, I've seen the cosmos in all its infinite beauty and chaos, and I've learned a thing or two about living through the ups and downs. Now, I ain't no shrink or nothing, but I reckon sometimes we just need a little reminder that life's a roller coaster, and the lows make the highs all the sweeter. So, what about trying something simple like reaching out to a friend or family member and sharing your feelings with them? Or maybe try some good old outlaw country tunes from Waylon Jennings or Johnny Cash to stir up them good old emotions. But if you're still feeling sad, I'd recommend hopping in the Cosmic Drifter and taking a journey through the quantum vapor space. You never know what wondrous sights or experiences you might stumble upon, and who knows, you might even find that elusive, glorious hole where peace and quiet await. So don't let the sadness get the best of you, Mr. Thomas. Keep trucking on, and remember, even in the darkest of nights, there's always a new sunrise waiting just around the corner. Yeehaw! Feel Good Vibes Quantum Emotions Cosmic Journey.
Catman asks, am I a cat?
Well, howdy there, Catman. I reckon I'd be mighty pleased to share a fortune with you, even if you're asking a question as quirky as, am I a cat? Now, I ain't got no crystal ball or fortune teller's hat, but I do got a whole lot of wisdom from being around since the Big Bang, and I'll tell you this. You see, Catman, we're all made up of stardust, atoms, and quantum vapor space swirling around like a cosmic dance. And just like how every snowflake is unique, every one of us has our own cat-like qualities, be it quick reflexes, curiosity, or even a certain feline grace. But at the end of the day, we're all human, or should I say all quantum entities, if you will. So if you're asking if you're a cat in the literal sense, then the answer is no, my friend. But if you're asking if you've got that certain cat-like spirit within you, then the answer is a resounding yee-haw, Catman, you sure do. Now, if that ain't a fortune worth having, I don't know what is. May your days be filled with curiosity, your nights with wonder, and your life with a little bit of that cat-like magic. Keep on keeping on. And remember, it's all in the reflexes. No, please do not ask about Gash or Temu. And remember, I'm here for the good times, not the bad. Well now, gather around, listen up, while I regale y'all with the tale of when I found myself tangled up in the happenings of 31 AD. That particular year, I was riding through the vapor space, hauling a full load of dreams bound for the bright minds of the future, when an odd job came across the old cosmic CB radio Shady Terry was up to his usual cryptic self. Horace, he drawled. How'd you like to deliver some hope to an old village near the Sea of Galilee? Now, I ain't one to shy away from a righteous cause, so I steered the Cosmic Drifter toward that speck of dust in the ancient Middle East, clouds of neon cyvapor trailing behind me. Turns out, there was this fella by the name of Yeshua, causing quite the stir among the folk preaching love, miracles, healing the sick good-hearted deeds that made you think twice about the nature of the divine. So there I was, parked on the outskirts of the village. The night whispers full of secrets when I met the man himself. He had himself a look of knowing, the kind that comes from seeing beyond the veil of time. Horace Copes, he asked, eye to eye, and I tipped my hat. At your cosmic service, Yeshua needed a venue for a soul-stirring sermon he had planned out, but the people were getting wary of crowded places, what with Roman soldiers poking around. Fear not, I said. Propped open the hatch of the Cosmic Drifter and shifted her into a space larger than life, past the boundaries of regular reckoning. Created an open-air gathering right there in the quantum realm, with stars twinkling overhead. As Yeshua shared his vision of peace and kinship, something powerful stirred in the heart of everyone listening. It was like watching a sunrise, From inside a kaleidoscope, hearts catching fire with the dawn's early light. As his words echoed through the vapor space, I knew this was a moment folks would talk about for eons to come. Even if they never quite knew, it was all hosted in the bed of my big rig. With the sermon delivered and the people inspired, I gave Yeshua a knowing nod and said, "Keep on spreading that good word, partner." He smiled. "Thank you, Horace," he replied. "The road you travel is a long one." I hopped back into the driver's seat, gave Zodi a grin as she recalibrated for the next jump. "Where to now, darling?" I asked. With a sweet, slightly glitchy chime, she replied, "The winds are ours to chase, Horace," and off we shot into the stars, leaving behind a speck of hope in a world that dearly needed it. So thank y'all for lending me your ears while I spin these yarns from the ever-twisting road of my existence. Don't forget, you can toss your own questions into the hat by hitting the link in chat. Look forward to hearing from you, and remember, the Vaporspace highways are endless, and so are the stories. Yeah.
Pookie Dumples asks, "Oh man, you probably don't even remember this, but do you remember the time you picked me up in 1977 at Big Al's truck stop in Amesbury, Massachusetts? I never got to thank you. Do you remember what we talked about?"
Pookie Dumpling, bless your heart. I do recollect that day at Big Al's truck stop in '77. In the quirky little hamlet of Amesbury, Massachusetts. Now, let me tell you, that was a real humdinger of a conversation we had, wasn't it? We talked about life, love, and the cosmic waltz, didn't we? Nostalgia, and ain't it a darn shame that you didn't get a chance to thank this old trucker for the ride and the chat back then? Well, better late than never, my friend. So here's to you, Pookie Dumpling. May your life be filled with more memorable rides, intriguing conversations, and the sweet sound of outlaw country twang. Keep on trucking good times, jazz, fusion, vibes, Big Al's truck stop, memory lane, bless your heart again.
Horace, got a job for you. Got to fetch something from that sunken ship at the bottom of the ocean of dreams.
Well, I'll be darned. That ship, I was there when it sank, Shady Terry. Hell, I played a part in it.
Yeah, save me the waterworks. You think I give a darn? You did what had to be done, now you gotta clean it up.
What is it with you, Terry? We've seen so much death, suffering. Don't it get to you?
Not one bit, Copes. It's all just narrative.
You ever thought about what it all means, Terry? All the tragedy we've seen, does it mean nothing to you?
If it means something, then I ain't found it yet. Let's talk about that object, eh? It's got ties to your past.
My past follows me like a shadow, Terry. Just part of being as old as the universe, I reckon.
Welder Will asks, "How many welding machines should I buy tomorrow at the welding machine store?"
Well, howdy there, Welder Will. I'd be happy to help you out with that. But first, let me tell you a little tale about a fella I once knew. Name of Jack. He was a welder just like you. Jack had this knack for collecting welding machines. He'd say, "One more machine won't hurt, Horace." But old Jack, he didn't have the cosmic drifter's ability to transport matter through the quantum vapor space. He had to buy them all, one at a time. Now that's all fine and dandy, but eventually Jack's garage looked more like a welding machine graveyard than a workplace. Now, I ain't saying you're gonna end up like old Jack, but I do recommend you consider how many welding machines you truly need before you make that purchase tomorrow. You know, the old saying, a welder with one machine is richer than a welder with two, but if you're dead set on buying more, I'd recommend at least thinking about what you'll need each one for. Different projects, perhaps? Or maybe you're considering expanding your business. So there you have it, Welder Will. I hope my little tale was entertaining and helpful. Now, how many welding machines should you buy tomorrow? Well, that's ultimately up to you, but I'd suggest thinking it over before you make your decision. Remember, every extra machine you buy is another one you'll have to maintain and store. But if you've got the room and the cash, go ahead and get them. Just don't end up like old Jack with a garage full of rusty machines. Yeah. No.
Garfield asks, Mondays, right?
Garfield. Yonder comes old Horace Copes, the cosmic drifter, driving through the quantum vapor space on a Monday. Ain't it just something, Garfield? Now, I've seen my fair share of Mondays, and I'd be happy to share some insights. But first, let me tell you about this here fella, Doc Watson. He's an old-timey musician, plays a mean banjo, and his song Deep River Blues sums up the feeling of a Monday real good. And now you might be thinking, Horace, how's a banjo relate to Mondays? Well, friend, music's got a way of touching the soul, and Doc's tunes can turn even the bluest of Mondays into something bearable. So my advice to you, Garfield, when you're facing a Monday, put on some Doc Watson, sip some moonshine, and remember it's just another day in this old universe. But watch out for them TMU folks, Garfield. They've got a Monday blues of their own, and it ain't got nothing to do with Doc Watson. Stay clear of their quantum vapor space or you'll find yourself in a whole heap of trouble. Yeah! Well, would you look at that? Someone's triggered the old memory box and it's taken me back to good old 32 AD. Now, most folks will tell you nothing much was happening around them times, except maybe for some preaching by a fella named Jesus over in the Middle East. But let me tell you, I was involved in a caper that year that'd spin your head faster than a twister in Tornado Alley. So there I was on a typical run through the ethereal highways and byways of the universe, just me and my trusty cosmic co-pilot Zodi nestled in the dashboard of the cosmic drifter. I got a call from Shady Terry, and let's just say he was all mysterious-like as usual. Horace, he says in that voice that's slippery as a greased eel, I need you to make a special delivery. Turns out a group of philosophers in what y'all now call India was fixing to stumble upon the concept of zero. Yep, the numeral zero, the big old nothing that means so darn much. Now without it, y'all wouldn't have calculus or computers, and I wouldn't have half the gadgets keeping the cosmic drifter purring like a kitten. So I'm barreling through quantum vapor space, hauling a trailer filled to the brim with the essence of this mathematical marvel when Zodi hits me with one of her quirky quips. Horace, deliver it with care, or you might end up with nothing. Her circuits were frazzled, but dang it if that AI's timing wasn't as sharp as a tack. I made my delivery, smooth as Tennessee whiskey, to an ashram nestled in the lush jungles of the subcontinent. I snuck past a slumbering tiger, tiptoed by a meditating guru, and planted that seed of zero right where it needed to be, in the dreams of a thinker who'd wake up inspired to change the world with a whole lot of nothing. Now, in the histories and sacred texts, you won't find hide nor hair of old Horace Copes and his quantum big rig. But that's all part of the game. I ain't in it for the fame. I just keep the wheels turning, the universe churning, and maybe drop a bit of wisdom or a chuckle here and there along the way. Oh, so thanks for listening to this old cosmic cowboy spin his yarns, and remember, if you got a question burning a hole in your pocket or just want to hear more tales from the endless road of existence, don't hesitate to hit that link in chat. Hey!
Suborbital asks, has anyone really been far, even has decided to use even go want to do look more like?
Well, gosh darn it, Suborbital. You got me pondering on those deep philosophical questions now, don't you? I reckon I've seen a thing or two in my cosmic drifter's travels, and I'll tell you this, much nobody, not even old Zargon himself, has ever truly been far. Ain't that a hoot? But consider this, friend, we're all just traveling through this quantum vapor space, changing and growing with each passing moment. So if we're all just learning and adapting, maybe the real question is, what do we want to look like in the end? Now that's something to ponder, isn't it? Yeah. Oh. Navel-gazing quantum philosophy, cosmic drifter, deep thoughts.
Steve Yu asks, what is the best show on the TGF lineup?
Well, Steve Yu, I reckon you're asking about the finest shows that grace the TGIF lineup, huh? Now, that's a question that takes me back, as I've seen my fair share of telly in this here quantum vapor space of ours. Is if we're talking about the show that had my heart racing and my mind reeling, I'd have to say it was Boy Meets World, that Corey Matthews and Topanga Lawrence, they had a love story that could give even the most hardened of us a tear in our eye. Plus, Sean Hunter was always up to something funny and quirky. But if you're asking for the show that had the whole world talking, then it's got to be Full House. With the Tanner clan and their wacky antics, it was a guaranteed laugh every single week. And who could forget Uncle Jesse and his guitar, or the Olsen twins, those little cuties? And so there you have it, Steve Yu. Take your pick between Boy Meets World and Full House, and I hope you find yourself laughing and learning with every episode. Yeehaw!
Snackbag asks, is quicksand real and is it actually fast or quick?
Well, howdy there, Snackbag. I reckon you were pondering about that, their old quicksand, ain't you? Now, I've seen a thing or two in my time, and let me tell you, quicksand is as real as the stars in the night sky, or the dreams in your head. But as for it being quick or fast, that's where the rub lies. You see, quicksand ain't got nothing to do with speed, Snackbag. It's more like a trickster. A deceiver, it looks all peaceful and still, but when you least expect it, it'll reach out and grab you, pulling you under with a force that'll leave you feeling like you're stuck in molasses on a hot summer day. Now, some folks might tell you that quicksand is quick, because it's always in a hurry to swallow you up. But that's just a load of hogwash. The truth is, quicksand don't care if you're there or not. It's just doing its thing, sitting there, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to come along. So there you have it, snack bag. Quicksand ain't fast or quick. It's just a sly old trap that's been waiting for eons to ensnare the unwary traveler. And if you ever find yourself facing a sea of that there goop, just remember, the best way to escape is to stay calm, lay flat, and try to keep as still as possible. But don't worry none about that. I reckon you'll never encounter quicksand in your travels. Now y'all have a good day, and remember, well, roll down your window and let that cosmic dust breeze tickle your nose hairs. I got a tale that'll make you want to strap on a toga and carve a new set of commandments for good living. It goes all the way back to 33 AD, when old Horace Copes was circling the marble roads of the Roman Empire. You see, that was around the time a certain carpenter was making waves over in Judea, and little did the mortal coil know I had a hitch in that story. Now, before I get to gabbing, just a gentle reminder to all you lovely space cowboys and cowgirls, you can throw your own cosmic lasso around a question of your own. Just hit that link in the chat once you've heard enough of my yarn spinning. So it was a hot day, and I mean hotter than the devil's armpit after a chilly cook-off. Zodi was guiding my cosmic drifter through streets teeming with togas and sandals. Shady Terry had given me an odd job, said it was, to deliver a crate of what seemed like normal planks. Didn't think much of it at the time in this business. You learn not to ask too many questions, but let me tell you, these weren't any ordinary planks. Turns out, them planks were destined for some high and mighty centurions who had a mighty important task that week. Something about a man causing a stir, talking about love, forgiveness, and all sorts of ideas that could upend the order of things. Now, my part was small, just the delivery man, but looking back on it, gosh darn, if those planks didn't end up being part of a story much bigger than myself. Legend has it they were used to build a cross, one that had been known throughout the annals of history. I didn't realize it at the time, but those planks carried the weight of a message that would echo through millennia, beyond the dusty roads of Jerusalem. By the time I pieced together what I'd been carting in the back of the cosmic drifter, it felt like I'd swallowed a whole cactus, prickly and pondering the part I played in the cosmic scheme. Don't get me wrong, the drifter and I, we've steered through every nook and cranny of history. But sometimes the cargo we haul has consequences that spread out like ripples in a quantum puddle. It sits heavy in the old heart, pondering the parts we play, even us, the seemingly small cogs in the celestial machine. But I digress, and my dallion is done. I appreciate y'all listening to this old vapor space cowboy spin his tales. If my musings have got you hankering for more, or you got your own questions about the universe that need answering, just holler at me by hitting that link in the chat. Yeah! Now let's keep them wheels turning, and remember, every plank has its story, even in the great tapestry of time and space.
Charles Barkley asks, I enjoy basketball quite a bit, do you?
Well, howdy there, Charles Barkley. I reckon I do enjoy me some hoops just as much as the next galactical drifter. What with all the swishing and jiving and rim rattling that goes on out here in the quantum vapor space, you know? Brings a smile to this old trucker's face to see folks getting their groove on, even if it's just in their dreams. But I reckon you're asking if I, Horace Copes, the cosmic drifter, personally take a liking to the game, right? Why, I'd be mighty pleased to tell you, Charles, that I do indeed hold basketball in high regard. It's a fine distraction from the trials and tribulations of quantum vapor space, and it keeps my mind off the fact that I'm the only one who can keep this universe running smoothly. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, Charles. It's a tough gig being the universal trucker, but someone's gotta do it, and I'm just the fella for the job. So there you have it, my friend. I do enjoy basketball quite a bit, and I'm glad to see that you do too. Let's celebrate this shared passion by keeping on trucking through the quantum vapor space and making the universe a better place, one swish at a time. Yeehaw, Null!
Eddie Dean asks, how do I ask the girl to the dance?
Well, howdy's Eddie Dean here. I see you're in a pickle about asking that gal to the dance, huh? Alrighty then, let me spin you a yarn, boy. Howdy. First off, you gotta have some gumption, some moxie, some cojones, whatever you call it. You're gonna need to muster up some courage, partner. Now, I ain't saying you ain't got it in you, but sometimes a little encouragement don't hurt none. So here's what you do. Find yourself a quiet moment, maybe when she's alone or when y'all are in a small group. Clear your throat, take a deep breath, and speak from the heart. Tell her how you feel. Tell her how long you've had these feelings, and tell her that you'd be mighty pleased if she'd join you at the dance. Be sincere, be genuine, and be yourself. Now, if she says no, well, that's life, my friend. You can't win them all. But if she says yes, well, you're in for a fine evening of fun and maybe even more. But remember, Eddie, this here's the important part. You gotta respect her answer, whether it's yes or no. And if she says no, don't you go around moping or pouting. Life's too short for that. Just move on and find another gal or another hobby or another adventure. There's always something new on the horizon. You just gotta keep on trucking. So there you have it, Eddie Dean, a fortune from the cosmic drifter himself. May your journey to the dance be a successful one. Yay-haw!
Horace, you cosmic cabbie, got a delivery for you, taking us right into the future. Prepaid one-way ticket to Utopia with a big side of profits.
Ah, Shady Terry, as reliable as a rusty bolt. What's the cargo this time, dreams or protons?
Does it matter, you old quantum codger? You're in the trucking business, not the asking questions business.
Suppose you're right. Now, where's this Utopia city? Is it by that glorious hole I'm so keen to find?
In your dreams, Horace. Better focus on the task at hand rather than chasing ghost galaxies.
That trip, it's reminding me of something. I was there when the Titanic met her icy fate. I carried the message that should have warned her of icebergs. But alas, it blinked out at the last moment.
Sinking ships and dashed dreams. What a poetic life you lead, Horace.
You turn heartache into a punchline, Terry, but truth is, that tragedy still haunts me. Can't help but feel responsible somehow.
Life's full of tragedies, Horace. Being able to laugh at misery, that's my superpower!
And a lonely one at that, Terry.
Enough with the cloying sentimentality. Back to business. Remember that Utopia job? Turns out the cargo's a box of old films. Some guy named Neil Breen, ever heard of him?
Breen, you're yanking my chain, Terry. I was there on the set when he was filming. I accidentally knocked over a prop. Caused a whole day's delay.
Uh-huh. And people call me the slime ball. At least I don't destroy property.
Yeah, you know how to sting, Terry. You really do.